Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Ryden. I've been freelancing in a wide variety of media pursuits since 1992. Reporter, TV host, actor, writer, documentarian. It's been a great ride, and I'll be the first to tell you, though, that it wasn't what I thought it was going to be when I started out on this career path so many years ago. But that's true for so many of us. And it was true for our guest today, Peggy Watrous Walters. And she documents the ups and downs of her life in her memoir called The Unexpected Journey. Welcome, Peggy, from the St. Pete area today. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
Good. Now, this clearly is not just a memoir, is it? Tell us a little bit about the book. What inspired it?
Okay. Well, the book is about a young girl who develops a relationship with Christ, with Jesus at a very early age, and it comes out of fear. She's fearful of the dark. She has this opportunity to live with her grandmother for a short period of time, and being away from her mother was very traumatic for her because we're talking about a child who's 4.5 years old. And, I don't know if you can reflect back on the time when you were 4.5 years old and how important your mommy was to you. But my mother was very important to me, and it was out of fear that I turned to Jesus for help. And my grandmother was very instrumental in doing that. She's the one who really gave me Jesus as a friend, someone I could count on, and someone that could take all the fears away from me. So the book is about this child who
You.
starts a journey. I'm the child,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, let's get that clear.
Yes, and it takes you on her journey and how she develops into a young adult and carries Jesus with her throughout her life and how important he is in her life. And so I'm, hopeful that the book will inspire other uh, folks, whether it be a young girl or a boy or whoever, that they're not alone in life. And you know, life is very challenging, and we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what each day is going to mean for us, and it's so hard to travel it alone. Sometimes we all have our own insecurities, but it's important for people to know that they're never alone. And so that's what I hope to convey by the book, the story.
When you were a little girl, how did you answer the question, what do you want to be when you grew up?
Well, interesting you should ask that question because I certainly did not want to be doing what I'm doing today.
What, talk to me?
No, no, I enjoy talking with you. It's the career path that I took. I think in the era that I grew up, I would have been happy to just be a wife and mother and raising children. I never thought that a career was really the path for me. I just wanted a happy home life. And, the journey that I've taken, and I think we all take this same journey. It's the events in our life that make us who we are today and take us down the roads that we take today. It's really the events. And so I would have to say, no, I never planned. I certainly never thought I would be writing a book. But that's where God led me, and so that's what I did.
Well, now, uh, your book touches on what you call the labyrinth of life, full of unknown twists and turns. What were some of the greatest struggles you faced in life, besides separation from your mom and afraid of the dark?
Mhm.
What were some of the greatest challenges?
Well, I would have to say my first marriage ended in a divorce, and that was very traumatic for me. It was not something I expected. It occurred after a 23-year relationship,
Hmm.
And I really fell into a deep depression over that, almost a suicidal depression, because I felt like I was letting God down.
Mm,
And I know that that's probably a very strong statement to make, but that's where my heart was, and that's how I felt. So the challenge of getting past that was really, it wasn't really a challenge. It was what God wanted me to do, because through that challenge, I was able to come out of the closet with my relationship with Jesus, and I was able to share my story and my faith. And I began learning to evangelize and just
mhm.
sharing Christ with other people.
And I'm sure in sharing with other people, you find that you're definitely not alone in facing insecurities in life. You must run into that all the time.
Yes, yes,
And,
I do.
and you're able
Yes,
then, and then you're able then, because of what you've gone through, you're able to help other people.
that is correct. So, again, in the book, I mentioned that the roads that we take, sometimes they're bumpy and sometimes they're easy to travel.
Mhm.
And the bumpy roads are really there for us to learn from them. And the easy, smooth roads that we travel there are rewards, there
That's
are
a good way to look at it.
blessings.
Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
interesting way to look at it. You start the
Yes.
book, the book starts at the very start of your journey as a little girl in the company of your grandmother. Now, how does that serve as the launching point for the rest of your book?
Well, I would say that you know the whole, I would say half of the book, the first half of the book gives the background
Mhm.
of who I am, how I was raised, to give my readers an understanding of the person that I am. And I thought it was important to start the book with a young girl at the age of 4.5 years old, struggling with insecurities, so that people can see that you can accept Jesus as your friend and savior at a very early age. It doesn't, it doesn't matter how old or how young you are. It doesn't matter what you've done in life that you might regret having done. It, it you can start at any point. I don't know if that's making any sense to you, how I'm
Oh no, yeah,
explaining
you
it.
can. That so many people
Yes.
think, oh, you have to be a certain age or you have to
Mhm.
have certain life experiences and that kind of thing. Um, the Apostle Paul says, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And you're pretty much living proof of that.
Yes. Yes, I would have to say yes. I rely on my relationship with Jesus 100%.
Mhm.
There isn't a time I get in my car every day, and the first thing I do is I thank God that He's there with me, and I ask Him to be with me as I'm traveling. It it's so important that you take Jesus with you everywhere you go. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. He's your friend. He wants that relationship.
Mhm.
And in the book, I mentioned how God so much enjoyed being with Adam and Eve. That companionship was so so rewarding to him. He just loved it. Well, he wants that same companionship with us.
Mhm. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting you mentioned Adam and Eve because I just read something yesterday or the day before about how God had a relationship with them, and we always think in terms of, oh, he created them, and then a few days later they messed up. He may have had a relationship with them for years and years and years. It could have been
Yes.
thousands of years. We don't know
That's
how
right.
long that
We don't
relationship
know. That's
lasted.
right.
That's
That's right. We
wild. Of
don't know.
course, knowing he was a man, it probably did last a couple of days, but That's guys, you know. But what's the biggest question you get from skeptics who just don't get that?
Well, you have to, I'm not sure how to answer that question, to be
Yeah.
honest with you, Paul. I think I've never gotten that question directly. And I have to think it's because of the person that I am. And in the book, I do mention that actions speak louder than words.
Yeah,
So,
you're modeling that.
so I believe that people see in me Christ, and so they believe what I say. There is no sept. Um, and I talk about having blind faith, and it's kind of like our world teaches us to get the facts, to be to do our due diligence and get the facts, to act on facts.
Sure.
Well, faith is not factual. It's not. It's like walking into a restaurant and being seated at a chair, and you just automatically go to sit in that chair. You don't question the ability of it being able to hold you up. You just
Exactly.
sit on it, right?
That's good. Good
And
way of looking at
so
it.
that's the kind of faith that we have in so many things in our life. And so why not have that same faith with Jesus?
When did you decide to just sit down and take stock of your life and say, I've got to put this down on paper?
Mhm. Well, it's interesting. I come from a family of five children. There's five of us, and it's very seldom that we're all together.
Mhm.
And one evening we were out to dinner. We were in the same town and we were out to dinner. And we were talking about our life and how interesting our life has been, and we need to write a book.
There you
And
go.
I'm sure everybody talks about that, as a
Sure.
family. Oh, we ought to write a book about.
Yeah.
And the light bulb went on, and I said, I really have lived a very interesting life with Jesus, and I need to put that down in writing.
Mhm.
And God inspired me at that moment to write a book.
Mhm. And what do you hope people get out of it?
I'm hoping to share my story with more people because I share it with those that I come in contact with because they're always asking me about my story of faith. And so I'm hoping that the book will reach the people that I can't reach individually, and let them know that there really is a relationship there that they're missing. All they have to do is ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us about what your work is now. What are you actively pursuing now?
Well, I think I need to write another book.
There you go.
And and the reason I say that is because my readers have said to me, those that I know individually have said to me, Peggy, I didn't want the book to end.
Oh, that's a good.
I yes, it would. Uh, they did confirm that it was a page turner for them. They couldn't wait for the next chapter to see how was this book going to end
Yeah.
here. And they were sorry that it wasn't a bigger book, but I wanted it that way. I shouldn't say I wanted that. That's what God intended. It was intended to be a short story, an easy read, as if I were sitting across the table from you,
Mhm.
telling you my story of faith.
Right.
And that's the way it was written. Simple language, easy to read, heartfelt, and so I hope to write an extension of that and give the readers a little more that they've missed out on. And so that's my plan.
Sounds great. Well, the book is The Unexpected Journey. The author is Peggy Watrous Walters. It's available on
Mhm,
Amazon, among other places. Just search for it and online and you'll find it.
mhm.
And you'll find inspiration as well. Peggy, thanks so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure talking with you.
Same here. Thank you so much, Paul.
You bet. And thank you, folks, for spending a few minutes with us on the Global Book Network. I'm Paul Ryden. We'll see you next time.